Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to be taking a look at the MSI IMMERSE GH50 gaming headset. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at the MSI GH50 from MSI. This is part of their IMMERSE range of peripherals and also is supported in the Dragon Center. So for those of you that are wondering, are these RGB? Yes, they are. It's got the logo on the front, and this works with the MSI Sync or the Dragon Center software from MSI, so you can check all that out. I will be going into that a little bit later in the video, so you can see how that all works and how it synchronizes. I have actually got an MSI motherboard, an MSI keyboard, and an MSI mouse, so we're going to be making all of that work together nicely and to make all the RGB flow and look like it's supposed to work together rather than looking like just a mess of unicorn puke. But anyway, let's take a look at the headset. So first of all, for the packaging. Packaging is pretty much the MSI standard at the moment, red and white with very clean and bold writing on it. On the side, we've got MSI GH50 gaming headset IMMERSE, MSI True Gaming, and on the back, it goes into some of the specifications and some of the parts that we have. So what makes this headset really nice is it works on USB, so you don't have to worry about headset jacks, microphone jacks, all that kind of stuff. Literally, you just plug it in, it's a USB sound card built into the system, so it's a completely separate system. So if you've got a particularly naff sound card on your PC or your onboard sound card isn't really up to it, then this is going to up your gaming immensely. So this supports up to 7.1 surround sound. Obviously there is only 2 speakers, you've got 1 per ear, but this uses a kind of way to trick your brain into thinking there's actually more than 2 speakers to give you that positional audio, which can give you benefits in games such as first-person shooters, even actually driving games. I've noticed in some driving games, if the game supports it, you can actually hear a car coming up behind you and you can hear which side it's coming from, so you can kind of nudge over to one side or the other to try and block them from overtaking you. Very good for things like Formula 1, that sort of thing. But the 7.1 audio is the real key selling feature of this. It does give you that positional audio, which you don't need to have tons and tons of speakers or some crazy setup to actually make it work for you. This just works in the software with the sound card. Using Windows Sonic, you can use that as well. There's a free download from the Microsoft Store. You can use that in conjunction with this if you want to, but there's tons of features already built into this and the MSI software which you can go into. There is actually a link I'll put in the video below, so you can check out the MSI actual press release and also the guys from MSI going through this in massive depth. There's about an hour-long video which you can go through, so if you want to know the absolute ins and outs of this particular headset, that is going to be the place to go for the full SP. Anyway, moving on. So we've got a foldable headband, which is great. So it's portable, you can just stick it in a bag, whatever, take it with you. No problems there. We've got a separate control box, which has a volume control. You can turn on features in the headset, such as 7.1. You can enable or disable very quickly, just with a press of a button. So you don't have to go delving around into software to actually find where that all is, which is fantastic. There's also a microphone mute switch as well, or button, so you can press that. And you've got a volume wheel, so you don't have to worry about where your keyboard is or all that sort of stuff. It's all on one handy control panel. The headphones themselves got really soft pads, so nice and comfortable to wear. The spring tension in the headband itself isn't overly tight. It's quite a nice feeling to it. There is a little bit of weight to them because there is a lot of technology in here. You're looking at about 300 grams in total weight, which for some people might be a little bit on the heavy side, but this is a full-size gaming headset, so you can expect to have a little bit of extra weight. Also in the ear cups, you've got the 40mm drivers, and also you've got magnetic kind of motors or drivers in there as well, which actually back that up. So that gives you a little bit of extra push or a bit of extra bass or clarity or positional audio, whatever you want to do. I'm not too sure how to explain it. It's a very, very odd experience, but that can be turned on and off with the remote control button. So basically you turn it on and it just adds more power to the sound, and things like explosions, gives you that real rumble in your ears. Again, if you don't like it, you can turn it off. It's on a switch. Some games work better with it on, some games work better with it off, and obviously some movies work better with it on or off. If you want to listen to spoken word, then you might want to turn it off to get that clarity. But if you've got some sort of bombastic kind of thing like Need for Speed or something like that, where there's a lot going on, a lot of action movies really do benefit from that extra kind of motion in your ears. It's a very odd thing to explain, but anyway, let's go into the rest of it. So in the box itself, you get a nice little dual stream carry bag, so you can stick the headphones in there, keep those all nice and safe. It's quite a nice thick cord bag, it's not like a flimsy thing. This is going to be pretty resilient. You get your instruction manual and warranty leaflet. You get the detachable boom mic, which is omnidirectional. It's got a hole each side, so depending on which way you are, it will pick up sound from your mouth and also some exterior sounds as well. But actually, it doesn't seem to pick up some of those things that are annoying in the background, and also like breathing. When you're breathing, if you get a nose breather or a mouth breather, it doesn't seem to come through on the audio, but we'll be putting some snippets of audio in there so you can hear that for yourself. Okay, this is a sound test of the MSI GH50 gaming headset. Now the microphone is set up in the MSI Dragon Center, and I'll show you quickly the settings. So this is our sound options. At the moment the voice is set to maximum, left and right, etc. And also for the microphone here we've got settings. We're about 90%, and sample rate at the moment is set to 48 kilohertz rather than 44.1, so it should come through sounding pretty nice. Also, there's an option in there if you want to with the Zeers effects. You've got the magic voice, so I'll turn that on now, and you've got the option to sound like a monster, a cartoon, a man or a woman. So let's try the magic voice and see what it sounds like.
So in theory now I should sound like a woman. I'm not too sure how this is going to work out, so let's change it now.
And now we'll become a man, which hopefully should sound exactly the same as it did previously, but anyway. So moving on, you've got cartoon.
So if you want to sound like a cartoon character, you can click on this one. And if you want to sound like a monster,
then you can click on this one. Anyway, so you get a general
idea of what you can do. So let's get back to the video. And let's look at the actual headset itself. The headset itself comes in this, it says actually black, but it's more of a kind of a dark grey. It's a very nice colour to it, and there's actually a very, very subtle hint of blue in there, like a steel grey. Got a metallic hint to it as well, which is nice. And also you've got the black elements, which are the actual padded ear pads, the padded headband, and also the side panels as well, with the MSI Dragon logo. These are illuminated when you plug in the USB, and again, all the RGB can be controlled in the Dragon Center. You don't have to have an MSI motherboard or other peripherals, or you don't even have to control the RGB if you don't want to. You can just plug it in and it'll go through its usual cycle sort of thing. If you want to have control over it, you can install the software. It works on any system as long as it's Windows 10, no problems at all. So 40mm drivers, and it's also labelled up inside so you can see which is left and which is right, and vice versa. The headband itself has got a really nice soft pad into it, and again the spring tension on it isn't overly springy until you get to a certain point when there's quite a lot of resistance, so it's nice and comfortable to use when you're actually gaming or listening to a movie. In fairness, I have actually taken these out and used them for a little while, both gaming and watching movies, and absolutely fantastic. They don't make your ears feel all hot and sweaty, even after like a 2-hour movie, no problems at all. A bit longer than that, then it does start to get a little bit warm and slightly uncomfortable, but again, for most gaming sessions, you're going to take them off every now and then anyway, for bathroom breaks, that sort of thing. The USB cable is pretty long, but it's not long enough to go for a bathroom break, so you are going to have to take them off every now and then. Talking of the USB cable is, like I said, is quite long, and it's a nice braided cable as well, so it's not going to get caught and snagged on stuff very easily. And see, it's probably about 2.5 meters in length in total, borderline getting on for 3 meters, so you have got a nice little bit of room. And actually, when you've got the headset physically on yourself, it does fit really nicely, like I said, and the control box is at quite a nice level as well. They've given just about the right amount of cable on there, so you can have it resting on your desk and you can have it close to hand. Now actually on the control box itself, you've got features, you've got the remote mute, so you press that and there's actually an LED on there which lights up to tell you if it's on or off. You've got the 7.1 button, so you press that and that toggles between 7.1 and standard stereo sound. And the button in the middle is for the kind of like the rumbling bass, or the motorized bass. So you can just flick that on or off, nice and easy to do. On the side, you've got a traditional analog rotary dial for volume, so you can have absolute precise control. So on some digital systems, you've got kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and sometimes 5 is not loud enough, 6 is too loud. So at least with this, with the analog, you can get it to exactly the right position to get the audio perfect for you. And going actually back to the headset, getting it perfect for you, as regard to fitting as well, there's very, very minute adjustment actually on the headset itself, on the bands, so you can get it so it fits exactly right. Now I've found if I have it on one click on each side, that is absolutely perfect for me and feels very comfortable. The ear pads are very soft, but they do isolate your ears, so although I can hear myself speaking, it is that kind of muffled sound, so it has got some form of noise cancellation for outside noise. For concentrating on the game, first-person shooters like Counter-Strike, that sort of thing, absolutely brilliant, because you can still hear some of the stuff that is going on around you, but you're really focused on the game. And again, if the game supports 7.1 audio, you can enable it on the headset and get that full sort of tracking audio, which is really, really nice. Now, the detachable microphone, nice and easy to connect. It's very similar to a 3.5mm jack, and all you do is just plug that into the side, and it fits in nice and snugly as well. And then you've got your boom mic for voice communication. There is a little bit of flex to it, but not a great deal, so you can position it however you want to. Again, if you want to, you can just position it totally out of the way and put it in the way if you want to. Again, entirely up to you how you have it. Because of where it's positioned as well, is really nice, because it kind of goes up a little bit, so it's not kind of down here where it's picking up all that kind of throat noise. It's actually quite up nice close to where your mouth is and between your nose, so you're going to get a really good audio profile. So we've had a look at the headphones, and one thing I haven't touched on is the price. Now, these actually are the kind of like the mid to high range of the headphones from the MSI series. With MSI products, normally you can tell what they are. So you've got the product name, so it's like GM or GH or GK for gaming headset, gaming mouse, gaming whatever. You get the idea. So the lower the number, the lower down the range it is. So this is the GH50, so it's gaming headset 50, and 50 is towards the top of the range. There is a 70 as well, which you can look at, but this is kind of like the upper quadrant of the market. So at £80 here in the UK, I think these actually offer really good value for money. I've tested quite a few different headphones of recent. The sound quality of these and the usability, I would say, would be very similar to that of the Turtle Beach Atlas, which we reviewed a little while back. Although I do prefer these over the Turtle Beach ones, if I'm completely honest. The feel and the weight, these are less bulky for sure. They feel a little bit more comfortable. They don't have the nicer features like the removable ear cups, at least as far as I can tell. They don't appear to be removable, but other than that, I think they are very, very nice. The sound quality is excellent. The ease of use for the adjustable settings for the sound, fantastic. And there's even more settings in the Dragon Center software, which we'll take a quick look at now. So this is the MSI Dragon Center, and as you can see, I'm loaded in. I've got my profile set up, so it will memorize my settings. So if I want to unplug the headset or the mouse or the keyboard or whatever and take it with me onto another PC, I can install the software, log in as myself, and it will memorize my settings, all that kind of stuff. In the Dragon Center, you can go to MSI device, you can choose your particular device, or you can do it from here. Click on the headset, and you can go and you can change things like we saw a little bit earlier when we did the voice test. You've got your sample rates, you can choose, so rendering, etc, etc. You've got EQ, so you can choose your equalizer. If you enable the equalizer, you can change various things, so various settings depending on what you want to do. Again, you can change some of this sound settings from the remote control with the 7.1 audio. And as we saw a little bit earlier, you've got the microphone control, all that kind of stuff. But probably what we're more interested in at the moment is the lighting. So if you go into Mystic Light, so as you can see now, so at the moment I've currently not got my keyboard or my headset synchronized. So if we click on that, or you can just click on the synchronize all sync. So now if I click on apply, now it will synchronize all the devices that are connected. So I'll briefly go out, and as you can see in the demonstration there, you can see that all the devices are actually connected together and synchronizing. There's a limited amount of details that you can go through with these different things. So you can have CPU temperature. If you click apply, it'll briefly turn out all the lights and then come back on. There doesn't seem to be any way at the moment of actually changing any of that, so you can't set your own increments for the different lighting profiles. I suppose we're getting a little bit off track there. So essentially, yeah, you can change it to the rainbow or color cycle, whatever you want it to be, and it'll flash through, and all of the devices will synchronize, which is a really nice feature. And again, this isn't going to break the bank. If you were doing this with some other certain brands, this would cost you an absolute fortune to synchronize all of this. So to be able to have fantastic sound quality, really, really good microphone, RGB synchronization, 7.1 audio, all of that in a package for £80 is phenomenal. So yeah, certainly gets my thumbs up. So back to the video. Okay, so there you go. That has been the GH50 in the Dragon Center software. Tons and tons of flexibility. Probably way too much to go into massive detail on in this video, but again, like I said, if you click on the link in the description, there is a link to the MSI video where they go into it in massive detail, like a 1 hour live stream, so you can find out all the information in there. But essentially, these are a great headset. They're very similar to the kind of the Turtle Beach setup, like I said. Although these come in at a cheaper price, they're less weighty. To me, they actually feel really nice. The sound quality is excellent. The flexibility of the USB and also the remote control. Again, you can just take these anywhere, plug them into any USB device. Windows will load up the drivers and you can just use them. If you want to get into more depth, you can install the Dragon Center software and have more control, or you can just use the remote control and adjust things like the 7.1, mute the mic, all that kind of stuff. Their sound quality is excellent, good for listening to movies, good for playing games. I can't really fault them at all, to be honest with you. The only thing I would possibly like to have seen would be them to be a little bit cheaper, but around about £80, I think this is probably the sweet spot for these. Now, if I was to give these a ranking out of 10, I would say probably about an 8 out of 10 would be a fair conclusion to these. They're not perfect. I don't think there ever will be a perfect device, but there doesn't seem to be any real shortcomings on this. The price maybe a little bit lower would be great. That would probably give it a 9 out of 10. But otherwise, I think these are really good. And definitely, if you're looking at a gaming headset at the moment, these are worth putting on your shortlist. So there we go, that's been the MSI GH50 gaming headset. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll be catching you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.